you're in the game. If you
Right.
can defend and shut it down, you're going to get some chances.
What are your thoughts about Seth moving to the middle? Does the Hall of Fame matter to you? Like a fish out of water. It's the Canes Corner podcast. I'm Adam Gold. You might recognize the head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brind'Amour. This is unusual for me to be in here. I was here as a guest. I know they would love to have you, but you're busy. Thank you for coming in.
No problem.
I want to shout out Megan LaMontagne, who
Yeah.
normally hosts in here.
Oh,
She's the in-arena host.
I told you that I would do her show, and you said that you were going to hook that up potentially. Do you remember that conversation?
Vaguely.
Yeah, and I
Vaguely.
never heard from her, so I figured that she's like, no, we're good. We got enough guests. So.
Okay. Oh, really?
You don't remember that conversation?
I don't
You did her show.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And
I
then
did.
someone on there, she said something about, I'd like to have Coach on or something,
Right.
and you go, I could maybe set that up. And I was listening, again, at some point, it might not have been right after. Maybe that's why. It was probably months after.
Sure.
But I said something to you about it, and then I got crickets. So forget about it.
In a lot of ways, it's how, like, I always threaten to ask you questions about things other than hockey.
And you never do.
And you usually get to some of it.
You throw something out there that I don't know, and then I'm like, well, I don't want to
Well,
talk
we're
about
going to
that.
get to one thing that I know you and I disagree on.
Yeah.
A little bit later on.
I
I'm
did
going to
hear
save
about
it.
this. Okay.
I'm gonna say I actually teased it on the radio show earlier. So
Yeah, that's why I know what this is.
yes. So you were listening. Real quick before I get into these things, I know you had just told me that you do listen to the podcast we do during the season. So
At times, I can't say I do
Right.
everyone, but
I
I
mean,
catch up on it.
I do 100 episodes. I don't expect you to
no,
listen to
I
100
definitely
episodes.
don't listen to that many.
How many times, and seriously, do you say Gold has no idea what he's talking about?
We've talked about this before, and I'm joking with you, but I do say that like you're pretty good when I.
I'm
compared to
not
most people-
trolling for. I'm not
No,
trolling.
I know
for
you are.
compliments.
That's why I'm
Okay.
up front with you. Like most of the people that talk on these things are absolutely no clue what they're talking about.
Right.
No, it's true. They're saying stuff that's just doesn't make. It's not accurate.
Okay.
You are probably one of the most accurate guys. Now, I don't always agree with what you say,
Okay.
but when you're talking about why you say it, it's actually
Okay.
makes sense. But and that's probably why I'm sitting here today, to be honest with you. Because if you were throwing out crap all the time,
Right.
I would have said, I got something to do today. You know what I mean? To be honest.
It's nice out.
Yeah. Well,
It's not
it could
100,000
not be
degrees.
nice out. I'd still find something better to do. So
All right. So I want to start with a little hockey, and then we're going to veer off
definitely.
to some other things. So in my imagination, which can be vivid, I picture you at a whiteboard with Tim Gleason and Jeff Daniels sitting there with notepads, and your drawn out forward lines and defensive pairings. How inaccurate is that?
Very. So now everything I just said about you went out the window. We
I knew that
we
was- I
don't
knew that
talk
was the
very
answer.
much about that stuff because there's really not that much to talk about.
Right.
There's you have at the end of the day 6 defensemen.
Right.
And so okay, how many we can do this? So there's not many things you can do. And if you know certain things work or there's just if that's easy, the line combos again, realistically, you could jungle. You got 12 forwards. I mean,
Right.
but really you have 4 centermen and 4 right wingers and 4 left wingers. And you can kind of move them around, but really the pieces don't all fit as you to make sense. So there's really only maybe 6, 7, 8 guys that can really play together. And and we already know all this because we've known most of these guys. It's not like we're throwing 12 new players together. So you kind of already have a pretty good insight. So we don't spend I know it gets talked about way more than we do. It's just and overdone like you wouldn't believe. I think that probably one of the more inaccurate things that gets talked about is line combinations and then why you do it and don't. And then, he changed the line here when, the guy might have broke his skate lace.
Right.
And so he was missing for 2 shifts, so I used someone else, and everyone's like, "Oh, you changed the lines." I go, "Yeah, I didn't even know that the center was out. The next guy went out." Like that happens a lot, to be quite honest with you. And then there's obvious ones when you're pretty accurate on what I do catch you when I'll make a change that is a change, and you're like, "Hey, he made a change here."
Yeah.
And so, but I think that all gets a little bit overdone because everyone's just looking for something to talk about that's different than the normal stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I think, first of all, a lot of the reasons why I think you don't think I'm crazy, we talk probably 115 times a year.
Yeah, that's true.
So, which is why sometimes, even though it doesn't feel like it, I try to leave you alone because we will talk 4 or 5 times a week during the season, and we're not that far. Prepare yourself.
You do your homework, so I appreciate that. And because we talk all the time, I feel like you're current on what's going on. So we're not dealing with something that happened 2 weeks ago that's wrong. Like, you're right, you're up to date with everything. So again, you do a good job.
Well, thank you.
That's why I'm sitting here.
Let me ask you again the hockey team specific stuff first. 8 years ago. Was it 8 years ago when you became the head coach?
Yeah.
9 years ago?
8.
8 years ago? This is year 8.
Yeah.
Could you imagine then this run, this 7 straight years in the playoffs, 3 of those years into the conference finals, regular seasons, other than the first 2 years, really one of the best 4 or 5 teams in the league. Last year, a little bit of a drop in terms of that, but basically...
Only because of the last 8 games.
Right.
Throw those out the window. We packed it in to rest our guys. So, but yes, yeah.
It is incredible. Why is it? What happened?
Played in Jacob Slavin's celebrity golf tournament yesterday.
Okay.
So I'm with a bunch of guys that I don't know. Well, actually, I do because I played with them last year. But, fans, whatever. And the guy asked me the exact same question.
Right.
So what do you think I would say?
Well,
if I only had one. I only got one thing that
you only have
reason.
one answer? The owner's investment in the team.
This is why we're sitting here. It's exactly the reason. Gave us a fair fight.
Right.
You can talk all you want about this, that, and there's obviously other things that matter.
But that didn't happen right away.
No, it didn't. Not the first year. Because the first year
we were still or the second year.
We were $20 million under the cap for those first.
Right.
But there was a theme there of, I understand we need to get the investment in the players right away. And I felt like, to me, that was the biggest thing. And then, especially early on, I felt there was a real commitment to listening to what we were saying we needed to do. If you remember the first year, there was some pretty big changes of people. Everyone's like, "What are you doing?" But that was because he wasn't afraid to make big decisions. Right away. Like, boom, trade, you name it, it was happening. And I think that's the reason. So it keeps going back. It was Tom's influence on all of that. Got us to go toe-to-toe with teams and feeling like we could win and not, just be hanging in there. That was, if you said one thing, there's a lot of things, but that was the major thing.
What's funny is that I remember talking to you, it was after the team started winning, which the first win in that stretch actually happened 2 nights before New Year's Eve. I think it was in Philadelphia. And it had been about a month of winning. And you said to me, I actually think we played better when we weren't winning, right? The way you wanted it to look, but that laid the groundwork for everything that happened going forward.
The credit there needs to go to our leadership group. So if you remember before I took over, there was it was kind of a gong show of what way it was.
Can I tell a quick story?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I hope nobody's going to get mad at this. I remember the day of the press conference that announced Jordan Stahl and Justin Falk as co-captains, you were an assistant. You walked past me and you said, "Wait till you get a load of this and I will stop the ...
Okay, I don't remember that, but yeah, that's probably how I felt. There's more to it because we also had Justin Williams.
Exactly.
Just signed, and that was...
You know what Justin said to me? Because we talked to him on the radio that day. And he said, I was more surprised that I wasn't given a letter at all.
Yeah, it was a total, you know what,
Yep.
to everyone that we didn't include. And I understand maybe we should have had more input with the head coach on bringing in JW.
Right.
But I mean, do you really need it? Like, I'm starving and someone gives you a cracker, you're going to say oh, you shouldn't ask me. You just,
Right.
that's basically what happened there. And it was not done properly, in my opinion. So we fast forward, we get that kind of corrected. And those guys in that first couple months where they play the game, they understand, they were dominating the games. No one else did, because we always look at the final score.
Right.
It's always, they lost 4-2. It doesn't matter that they dominate. They gave up 8 shots or 8 scoring chances, got 25, and they're not telling the story. But when you're playing that game, you feel pretty good coming out going, hey, what's this? This is working.
Right.
And then all that happened is the puck just started to go in. Nothing changed. Like I said, I thought we were playing a little bit worse because that 25-8 margin went to, almost closer. You know what I mean? So the chance, and all of a sudden, our puck started going in, and we started to win. And we really haven't looked back, to be quite honest.
Nope.
So, but it's that little leadership to say, hey guys, trust what these guys are telling us. It's gonna work. You know what I mean? Because it's easy when it's not working to go, well, this is no good. We're not winning. Mm-hmm. And hear all the noise and it's all about, they're looking to your captains. They're looking to those guys. How are you handling this? And they're like, stick with it, boys. There you go.
They believed in what they were doing.
Yeah.
And that's to me, and I have heard this compliment of you around the league from other coaches, from players, from broadcasters, that it's hard to get any team, to play with maximum effort every night. It's hard. These are long seasons.
Yeah. Well, you have a few duds in there.
Right.
But we don't have a lot of those.
Right. Very few.
Yeah.
And you point out, this was not an effort problem. This was an execution problem or whatever. The other team just plays better one night.
Right.
But there are very few nights where
we hang our hat on that. And I think that's been our cornerstone. And that's not going to change. Like, that's not under the leadership we have here in that locker.
Right. Another reason why you guys started winning a lot, and to me, it slapped me in the face today. The United States sent out their preliminary 44-man roster for the Olympic team. Noah Hannafin was on it. He was not part of the winning, but he was here before being traded along with Elias Lindholm for Dougie Hamilton. But Slavin, Pesci, and Shea were all on it.
Yeah.
So 3 of your 3 best defensemen in this 7-year run, and Shea was only here for 4+ years of it. Jacob's been here for all of it, and I think he's getting better. And I know, man, I'm going to cry again about the Pesci handshake line. Yeah. But having that kind of talent on the back end makes your job easier.
Well, of course. It's the game. It's goaltending, it's defense. Gives you a chance every night. I can throw out my 13-year-old team up front if we have it's you're in the game if you can defend and shut it down. You're going to get some chances. And then if you had good players, which we do, that's where you see that you should see a little, bigger margin in the chance for stuff because you're creating more.
Right.
No doubt about it. That those guys you just mentioned, those are no-brainers.
I mean, it's amazing, and it was cool to see Jacob on the national, almost an international stage at 4 Nations. And we're going to see it again at the Olympics. I can't imagine, based on the performance we saw, given health, that he is not the number 1 shutdown defenseman on that team. Yeah. And I loved his pairing with Brock Faber. I thought they were great together. Yeah.
Put him with anybody. You pretty much say that.
Tony DeAngelo, also an American.
Is he on that list?
No, Tony DeAngelo did not make
that. I wouldn't be that. I wouldn't have a problem sticking him in there.
I like Tony so much. Yeah. I really do. In some ways, I miss him because I think Tony was. I don't even know why we're talking about this, but very quickly, I thought Tony was one of the smartest players I've ever seen and ever talked to. He could, intelligently analyze exactly what happened photographically after a game. He would walk you through every scenario. I love Tony after games.
No, we think the same.
All right, let me ask you real quick. This will be the last team hockey question because I want to get to some other stuff. What are your thoughts about Seth moving to the middle? Is that something you are definitely thinking about? Or Logan?
No, I think that's where you're wrong. I've heard you talk about this. Like, maybe he's going to get the first crack at being that if we even go down that road.
Okay.
I don't think I would want to do that to him. First, not that he wouldn't if we were trying it. I don't even. There's still a lot of let's see what what happens. But it's the same argument that I had with the nature stuff that we've talked about. Why take one of your top guys who's a top position player at that and move him to maybe see if that works? I know it works where he is.
Okay.
Let's not rob Peter to play Paul, right? Okay. Let's try maybe. If we're going to try, I would probably think maybe might be Logan trying that first. If we go that route, we may not, right?
Okay.
We have other pieces there, we obviously, so. But I get your thought process, 100% right on,
Seth's already an elite defensive player.
Yeah, he could probably do it. Just I don't want to lessen the player that he is,
He's good.
And, he still has other, issues. I just feel like is
the shoulder a factor for you?
Well, I worry. I mean, it's not because he's, he's playing and he's fine. But I saw it happen. I just rather take that element out of it.
Understood. All right. This is about hockey, but it's really about you. Does the Hall of Fame matter to you?
No. Listen, I say this all the time because I get asked every year when what happens, and then
it matters to a lot of other people.
Well, it's starting to because what's happened now, I
apologize for making you uncomfortable.
No, it's that over this time frame when other people have gotten in, and you're like, you could see before, this guy, I get it. Then all of a sudden, you see all these guys go in, and you're like, wait a minute, well then what? How does that guy not get in? I mean, he's got more better that. That's when you start going, but. Would I love to? Yes, of course I would. That's, for different reasons that people probably think. More because it would be an unbelievable opportunity to thank people that I need to thank in that form that have meant so much to me that you can't really, and it would be great for this organization just to have that. I feel like, we're still fighting that credibility thing. It's constant. Every time you feel it. I understand it. They're looking for ways to constantly not devalue this place, but there's some sort of something out there. We got to win one more here to knock that out. That's kind of what.
Then you go in as a coach.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm just talking about the team in general.
Right.
So would it be great? Yes, if it happens. I always say this. I never grew up. It never once did it enter my mind. I make the Hall of Fame. No, it was make the NHL and then win a Stanley Cup. That was like all I ever thought about. So this would just be icing if it ever does happen.
All right. So because it is in a lot of ways about the organization, it's also about the ways that stats and analytics has enveloped the modern NHL game. Because to me, it's the hardest possible game to put stats on. Anything where the ball or the puck is in constant motion and the players are in constant motion. You can do that in the NBA, right? Because they're just jump shots, right? You have a certain percentage here. Way too many variables. I would love to know how you guys tabulate scoring chances because all of the analytical sites that I have access to, I'm like, that was a high danger chance?
Junk.
I just don't get it. So
I
can't do it.
I'm with you. And, be careful how I put this because everyone gets all, But what you just said, again, 100% accurate.
Okay.
Maybe that's all I need to say. And so there's static starts, it's easy. This should happen.
Right.
But like you said, the variable of hockey is too much. There's too much chaos. And so the more that you can create, it throws all those out the window. Is basically how I look at it. Now, there are some yes, there are some truths, of course, but at the end of the day, I don't lean on it that much. It's the eye test. It's the knowing the people test. It's all that we make our decisions.
We know that Tom is a percentages player, and we know that Eric is pretty smart. 2 degrees, physics and chemistry. That's awesome. Have you lost battles with them over players that you wanted for hockey reasons, but they look at and say, no, this guy can't help us?
100%. But what I'll say is they have too.
Okay.
So
want to give me an example of a player you won?
Well, no, because then that'll make it sound like they didn't want him either. We agree on a lot of stuff, and then we disagree on some stuff. But what's good about it is we both understand, like, it's healthy to have that. Like, you can't just all be agreeing. And then I'm pretty straight up, and I'll, like, when I like someone or don't, like, so there's no in this, and I feel like we're both. I'm learning a lot more about the analytic world and how they think, and I appreciate Eric and Tom too. They're I don't want to say coming over to this side, but they're understanding what hockey's. It's tough to, like you said, it's not all on paper.
It can't be.
No, and so I think we're learning from each other.
And I'll just draw a comparison to something else, and then we're going to get on to some other things. But I know you're a big soccer fan. No, he's not.
Not really, only because I don't know it.
But that's another sport where it's how you react to a situation, how quickly you can move the ball, how quickly you can move the puck. Like one of the things I like so much about Jackson Blake, he seems to be able to see passes that most people don't see. I have like an incredibly high level of expectation for what he can be as an offensive piece. But I think it's those types of things that I don't think you can really quantify with stats.
There's a lot. I would say there's so much of that what you just said. You just can't. I can't measure the size of this thing.
Right.
And this game is all about that. And so if you can't measure that, then what are we talking about, right? So that's the first part, and then all that other stuff you just said, I agree.
All right. Pickleball. I know you have a pickleball court.
Yeah.
Is it called a court? I guess it's called a court.
Whatever.
At your house. Are you into it, or just because Tom owns the sport?
No, it had nothing to do with that. Although I guess maybe it did because because he did introduce us to it more realistically. Then I kind of enjoyed it, but really it was. I say it's a pickleball court. It's really a little sport court for my son to shoot pucks, and we just made sure it fit the size, and occasionally we play. When a lot of guys are into it, the old guys, and I don't mean old guys, the old players.
Right.
They're playing in leagues now, and I get Hill. He comes over to the house, and he'll bring his family, and we'll have little matches. Like it's actually fun. It's not nothing too serious, but it's a great sport to play if you've played it.
I have a pickleball set. I have not yet played it.
It's a lot easier to play. Not not good, but like you can just play. Anyone can play it for the most part. You know what I mean? So
I was texting with Sean Hill about other things. Actually, he and I text a lot about soccer. Yeah, I know his son plays in Germany,
big time,
and he's a big fan. It was very cool for me because I'm kind of a new fan. When I figured out he was into it, like now we talk a lot. We probably talk more soccer than anything else, but. It was like 9 o'clock, and he goes, "I got to go to bed because I'm playing pickleball with Willie tomorrow." Yeah,
and Wardo, and they play. Yeah,
Now I asked Justin. Justin says he's no good, but I think we all know differently.
No, that's a lot.
Asked him when he was turning pro.
Yeah.
What is your favorite movie?
Oh, it's easy.
Easy.
Rocky.
Okay.
So it's one.
Which one?
It's really two.
Okay.
One was great. But then 2 is like the masterpiece of the whole thing. If you just my favorite scenes and this different things. Although Rocky 1's got some too. Like there's a kind of a combination.
Sure.
And then Rocky 3 is good too. It goes kind of down after that for me. Even though everybody likes Rocky 4 because they remember that with the Russian.
I hated it.
But it was already
it was
on its way. Not as good, and so I
stopped. after that.
Pretty impressive for me, because you know why? This is how I know a good movie, and everybody can relate. Flipping through the channels someday, you got nothing really going on, and when that comes on, and you've seen it 8 million times, you just start watching it. And the Rockies things are always on in like succession. They're like they play them all back to back to back, so you just kind of, I feel like that's how it works.
I'm like that with Harry Potter movies. I love Harry Potter.
Okay.
I quote Harry Potter on my show probably too many times. I also love the Oceans movies. I'm a dialogue guy.
The Oceans, like you mean
11,
Oceans
12, 13.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind those. Yeah. Smart movies. Yeah,
Dialogue
I like those.
will always get me. But yes, Rocky is one of those.
I know. It's corny
Godfather
as hell,
as
but
well.
there's just a lot in that movies if you really, you watch it now. I tell my guys to watch that, and they laugh at me because it is. If you actually watch how the punches and and nowadays
nobody could survive that.
If that would be the best heavyweight fight in the history of mankind, the way they're just killing each other.
They're dead.
Right. So then you could tell they're missing each other. Like but it's still if you take it's good.
Although I think you're a boxing fan, the 3 rounds of Hagler Hearns was similar to that.
You're right.
I
was real
watching
little when that came about, but yes. Yeah.
It just made me old.
No, but we were
I'm not
both
that much
little.
older than you.
I mean, that was real fighting back then.
Yes.
That was when boxing was legit. Not that it isn't.
Do you watch boxing anymore?
No.
Do you
I don't even know any. Like I watched.
I'm with you.
I watched the Tyson thing.
Right.
And it was more because I did. I obviously all the stuff he did in the ring. He was still the best ever, and it was. I was just hoping to see some of that, and that was unrealistic, and it came out. It turned out it was.
But the doc?
No, the fight, his last fight when he fought.
Oh
Paul,
no, I didn't see that. No,
that was no good. No, if there's a documentary, I'll watch that for sure.
There are Tyson. I think there are Tyson docs, and a buddy of mine just wrote a book about Tyson that I'm getting ready to read.
You remember heavyweight when Holyfield came in our locker room?
I was going
to like those 2 fights.
I've never seen you that excited. You were like a child
that
at
was
Christmas.
literally the best. Like the hype and and it's the fact that how it went down, and just everything about it, and then him come in and talk about it was kind of cool. Like for us, those are neat moments. Like I don't know how that ever happened. We got lucky. Somebody knew someone, and he happened to be coming through town. But what a memory! It
was. I just remember seeing your face because he was.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't really a heavyweight.
No.
But there were no great heavyweights, so he assumed the role.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the end. I don't remember the best of Ali. I remember the end of Ali. And I remember it was sad at the end because he was kind of done.
Yeah. And I don't really remember him other than seeing the old clips. So
right. Yeah. And I remember the rise of Tyson, but he was beating nobodies, fighting every 3 weeks, and then ultimately all the problems he incurred from his own doing.
Yeah.
And we never really got a chance to see him fight the best fighters. I mean, beat Michael Spinks. He punched him in the chest and knocked him out.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you binge watching any shows on television?
I need to. My wife and I are like, well, you're like, we need something to watch.
Okay.
We're always like looking for something. I ask everybody. I don't even know what we're watching now. I couldn't even tell you. It's just, we watch a lot now. We ended up doing a lot of comedy people. 1-hour comedy shows, and we go through all those.
Is there somebody you like?
Well, my wife, big fan of that Nate Bergazzi, who just came
awesome.
through. We went and watched him at the Lenovo Center.
He's
there.
great.
That was pretty good. So that's kind of maybe stuff we're doing. Yeah.
I have found with all these shows that you binge watch that usually by season 3 we should just not do it anymore.
I agree.
There's
not many that go past that are super good. Yeah. I don't even know the one that is. Oh, no. What was the Game of Thrones?
I've never watched an episode of Game of Thrones. Never watched an episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
But Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Yeah. We watched that. I like that.
Are you looking forward to season 4 whenever it's going to come out?
Yeah, I watched that, but I bet you it's not. I bet you it's going to be a little bit like that too.
Well, the thing I loved about Lasso was it. I mean, and I don't know how much of it you use, because there are messages.
Yeah, but some of the messages in there we've used way before. I was like, that that came out of our room with our guys. And,
Sure. I mean,
but anyway, yeah, no, there's definitely anything. It can be a movie. It can be that's why I do a lot of podcasts flipping through with people.
Right.
You pick up stuff. There's gems everywhere that, you can use.
All right, let's get to it. Should college athletes be paid by colleges?
Well,
I told everybody I was going to ask you
You said I
this today.
disagree with it. I disagree with the way it's gone. Like this,
Okay.
to me, and it's very interesting because I just had this weekend. My father-in-law turned 80, so
Yes.
they had a reunion. My wife
I have a
put this
question about
reunion
that.
together. It was unbelievable. We did it at the Lenovo Center.
Yep.
We had 350 of his people that coached with him back in the day, Rick Barnes, and
I know.
And I mean, I can't do justice to all the names that were there, and then some of his players. So you're getting wide range of, and everyone in between. All these NC State people came. It was awesome.
David
right?
Thompson
David
wearing a
Thompson
name
was there.
tag.
Yeah,
As
no, we all
though-
had name tags.
Why did you have a name tag?
Because actually, I thought that too, and then it was actually very beneficial, because just some people, but
Sure.
it's good to that is who it is. They keep, but it was awesome to kind of relive. But talk to all these coaches. I mean, there was a ton of them in there, and I asked them about the NIL. What is it? NIL.
NIL.
And it's a problem. It's a problem, and it's not right. And here's why it's not right for me.
Okay.
What is college all about, right? First of all, it should be about I got to get an education, because
Sure.
we're talking about very few that actually are going to use that sport to make a living. So
Right.
and now we're kind of muddying the waters here that
Right.
everyone's should be paid this and okay. But the other thing that's so great about living here, NC State, I got here and married into the it's in your blood.
Yes.
No, it is. I mean,
is.
I'm like, at first I thought it was kind of like a joke. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like when I first got here, the first thing that I went to NC State Carolina basketball game, I thought this was awesome. Like I grew up watching it a little, but I couldn't believe how everyone was invested in it. And then I kind of thought it was a joke that you choose one. Like, do you know what I mean? I thought, and it was like, what do you mean? You can't cheer for both.
Well, I grew up. You were a Mets fan or a Yankee fan.
Okay.
You're an Islander fan or a Ranger fan.
All right, you get it.
Right.
But it was like really serious.
Well, I had choices.
And
Most places
but
don't.
why is that? It's because they're there for 4 years. Do you know what I mean? They have an investment. Whatever. Now, what's happening? It's just every year. They're all free agents. They're all just. There's none of that. You're losing all that. You're already getting paid. We already were getting paid. You were getting scholarship. You were getting room and board. I don't know what that's worth, but could be worth anywhere from what? How much? 50 grand, 100 grand a year.
Yeah.
Okay,
More,
let's just say
in
it's
some cases,
whatever
yeah.
at different schools. So that's already a payment.
Sure.
Because if you're not an athlete, you're paying it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are getting paid. Now,
Right.
there are some elite guys that people are buying their jerseys so there's got to be a way to give them a cut of that and allow them to make money on the side. Like there's all these stupid rules where you can't go do a car commercial. Or,
Right.
I'm not in favor of doing that. What I'm not in favor of is I'm going to pay a guy $8 million to play for my team.
Right.
I don't really agree with that. And that's what I'm getting at. And I don't agree with every year I just can go to another school and go. That's not what this should be about. If it is, then let's just get rid of it. We'll call it
Right.
a pro league,
Which
which
I
is
think
fine.
is where we're headed.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Then sell the team from the college. Sell them. Right. You don't own them. Let them run it. You can wear their jerseys, and the school will you'll be a part of whatever the school is. But let's not fake it that this is
Right.
all together and all hunky dory. I don't agree.
I am more in line with that than I am with what's happening today.
Yeah.
But the reason what's happening today is theoretically out of control. And it is because it's so new. And it's
Yeah.
always going to take time to settle in, right? But if you go back, I moved here 20 some odd years ago, 98, the first day I woke up in North Carolina. And at that point, the ACC distributed $9 million to each school for shared revenue. And they were the wealthiest conference. And now the SEC and the Big Ten will distribute pretty close to $90 million in the next couple of years. So the increase in attention, and that number is going to go higher. There's so much more money involved in it now, and the kids get the same deal.
Right, but
Kids-
they were back then. They were great players back then too.
Correct.
So the money's going to go somewhere. Isn't it better facilities, better opportunity? I don't know what they're going to
Colleges have all
spend it.
better facilities than NFL teams.
Right.
It's amazing. Which
No, but I meant anywhere. Could
Right.
be the money. I mean, I don't know. It can't just be going in people's pockets. I mean, maybe it is, but
well, no.
so they're
it's
going to
not.
use the money to
But
better their institution.
They have to waste a lot of money, but it's not even about that. Because you talked about they should have been allowed to go
Yeah.
and essentially, and this is the argument that I've been making for so long, is that they should be allowed. They said they wanted to treat them like regular students, except they weren't.
No.
They put restrictions on these guys and women when they should. Had they allowed them,
Well, then why did we have to make this such a change then?
because lawsuits pushed them to this point. The reason why schools are paying now is because they lost $1 billion lawsuit.
Right.
That's
No, I get it, but it's just you get my point on
I
it.
do, 100%.
And I agree with you. I went to Michigan State for 1 year, full scholarship, which was awesome, but I had no money,
Right.
And I couldn't. When cafeteria was not open on Sundays, we were. So I
Right.
literally was like, okay, I got enough. My parents were not wealthy, so
right.
I had $5 a week. I would wait and go to Wendy's Super Bar on Sunday, and we would, because it was we'd eat at noon,
Right.
and we would just pig out, and that would be it because we don't have money.
Right.
There's no job. Our job is training. So I get it. There should have been,
Wendy's?
whatever we could get. Super Bar, I remember it. Like, my point. So I get that you shouldn't have to. These guys shouldn't have to do that.
Right.
I don't think. Right.
When's the last time you were in a Wendy's?
Probably
curious.
then, maybe. Probably then. But there's a medium in there. I just think they're missing out on the education part. I'm sure that's out the window.
Well, the education part is always like, yes, they're given an education, but they're more often than not, they're given eligibility so they can play. Especially when we're really talking about football more than any other sport. I think most of the other sports are being held to academic standards. Men's basketball depends on where you are. But the value of the education fluctuates based on where you are, which is unfortunate. Like, I know many players who played football at North Carolina that were denied classes that they wanted to take because it didn't jive with football practice.
Yeah. No,
And that's too bad.
I get it.
Because I didn't want to spend.
There's a better way to do it. That's all I can say.
Well, I think what you said is going to happen ultimately with football, and then we're going to go back to the other sports being part. But that's just the athletic component of it. I think we're too far gone for it to be anything other than eventually the players will all be employees of the schools, and
We'll just give them contracts.
Yeah.
And because now, 4-year contract,
yes,
whatever. Okay.
all right.
We agree on that part.
There you go. Who was your favorite player growing up?
What, hockey player?
Hockey player.
I had 2. One was Guy Lafleur.
Okay.
When I was real little. I was in his fan club. Right? I had pictures.
The Guy Lafleur fan club?
And this is the best part of it. So I had his picture on my wall, had it signed,
Right.
legit. I get into the NHL, and he retired for a year. I think came back, played for the Nordiques
Okay.
or the Rangers, and then the Nordiques. And
Definitely was a Ranger.
I lined up against him in a game in Quebec when he came back to play, and I just sat there and I'm like, this is pretty surreal. Like, I just looked up to this guy, and here he is, and I got his stick after the game. Still have it. Very, very cool. And then it became like most kids. It was Wayne Gretzky. It was just,
Right.
and he was only probably 8 years older than me. So
Yeah.
but he was the man. And then I had some cool moments with him at the Olympics when we got to play. They stuck me in a room with him, so I got to kind of watch that. And
Nice.
amazing to watch. My best memory in hockey is that in a room a little bigger than this, and we lost. We lost in a shootout to Dominic Hasek. Okay. It was a crime because that's what happens. The one game, it comes down to it. He stood on his head. 10 shootouts in a shootout, and we don't score. Right? Crazy. They got 1 and we got none. Right? That's how it was. Just, and we lost. You're done. And I'm watching Wayne Gretzky after that come back to the room and just devastated. Like, we were all devastated, but like he had the world on his shoulders. Canada, NHL.
Right.
Like, it was just, and then to hear him talk and the moments that I got to sit and watch, the greatest player of all time, sitting in the corner with a beer in his hand, just going, it was real special. So since that moment, we're not friends. Like, I don't hang
Right.
out with him, but he'll send me a text here and there. He comes, says hi. He came against the Rangers when we played him a couple of years ago, came down to our locker room to say hi, which I thought was cool because he played for the Rangers.
Yep.
I thought this
Who
was
didn't
pretty
play
good.
for the Rangers?
No, but, he's just a special guy.
Right. He occasionally texts Trip Tracy, too.
Yep, they're good buddies. Who isn't
Trip
with him?
knows
Everybody.
everybody. It's ridiculous.
And it's because he takes time to get to know people. They don't just, you don't just know people.
Right.
He is one of the best at just being a friend to people. And I love the guy, great heart. And yes, Gretzky is a good buddy of his.
I have two, these are minor regrets, but they're both regrets. One, I was not at Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
We talked about that.
It was for my,
Good reason.
1 year anniversary, sort of. It was, it wasn't quite the anniversary, but anyway, I was with my wife in Charleston. King Street Bar and Grill, by the way, is a great place to watch games 6 and 7.
I got good advice on that about relationships. Start how you want to finish. So you started that relationship like that. I can only bet that's why horses are kicking you over in the pen. That's all I'm going to say.
It hurts to laugh. It legitimately hurts to laugh. That actually caused me some agony. And I should have gone with you, and I think Chuck Caton and Tripp to his NSMA.
That was good. And Mike was there. Big Rig was there. Yeah.
I was proud of Tripp. I was so thrilled for him that he won.
That was good. Very well deserved. I don't know how to do it. Maybe talk about it more, but he's so good at his job. Mm-hmm. When I listen, and I know he's a friend, so it's hard because everyone's, he's your friend. But I listen to him do a game. It's fun. The games are fun. I listen to other people do it that are so-called the best guys, and I'm sleeping watching this. And they're saying the same things every night. You can literally, and that's why I'm keeping the names out, but they're on every Sunday, let's say, and they're saying the exact same things about two different teams at the same time. Like, they're just regurgitating. They're not doing any homework.
Right.
This guy does his homework on. That's why when you say relationships, and he knows everybody, because he actually does take the time to talk to them and get to know on all the teams, all the players that come into town, and he's genuine as heck. And I mean, I wish he would get a little more attention on that. I don't know why he doesn't, but whatever. Yeah,
you and I feel the same way about Tripp. And the final thing here is, because I know Tripp was there when Schuyler won the national championship. Right, or it might not have been for the championship.
Not that one. He came the week
the round
series
before.
Yeah.
So about Schuyler, who scored his first NHL goal.
Yeah.
All right, take Coach Rod Brind'Amour out of it.
Yeah.
How did you celebrate that with Schuyler?
Yeah, I don't even know that we did, to be honest. It was, it's a lifetime kind of journey. Watching him
still in the organization,
and I see everything behind the scenes. Like I see every day what's been going on since the kid was 10 years old, and all it was the dream to play for the Hurricanes first of all, and then to play in the NHL, and then just watch him grind and work and all the way up. There's a lot of people just see you talk about the good things. There was a lot more of the not so good. Struggled through a lot of stuff, injuries. Like 2 years ago, 2 fractures of his face with slap shots to the face in Charlotte when he played. Like orbital bone shattered, jaw shattered, and just you're watching that, and then we gave him an opportunity here, and he earned it. Like he had a great year, and he's a different type of player. He's not like Bradley Nadeau. He's not on the first unit power play scoring goals, but there's a different role that he fills, and he's really good at it. And so to see us reward him with it, because it was we don't bring up guys unless they earn it, and that's what I do like. So it's like I call Cam. I watch all the games, but who deserves to be the guy? And he's like, hey, this guy, Schuyler, what he's done all year, and that was a great moment. Now that's gone, and he's got to fight again and see if he can do something. But I know it's not for lack of effort. He's the hardest working kid I know, and that's what makes me proud.
I mean, he's got a lot to live up to.
Well, yeah, I mean that's where it's tough because he has that, but that's what's made him, I think, tough too.
This will be the last thing, I promise. And we're
I've
gonna
got
go.
time. We're good.
Well, I cringe when everybody talks about Logan Stankoven and about it's always for a little guy. Do you cringe when they call you Rod the Bod?
I don't. There could be worse things.
Okay.
Right? At this point, it is what it is. It's so. I
usually
think
Kevin Weeks.
It's fine. Oh yeah, well I love him. So we kid about lots of things. I mean, Weeks is a character, and he's a big supporter of our team, which there's not a lot of them out there, and not mainstream. They like our team, but they can't wait for it to flip. And he's always stayed true to backing us. Yeah,
he lived
yeah.
it. He knows what it is.
Yeah, and he's good at his job.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's legit. Like, he's one of the top dogs in my opinion, calling the games for what it is.
Yeah.
They're I get it, entertainment. There's a lot of the guys covering all sports now that don't really know. They're just doing it to create attention, but they're not telling the right story. But that's the world we live in now. So
6 weeks, roughly, maybe a little bit less. You and I start talking almost every day. So I'll talk to you then.
Look forward to it, my friend. Do a great job. And we got better than anyone that we have it's just a good group of people. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's fun to do the job for me. Like I can't. I know every coach is going to say that, but they don't mean it.
Right.
Like I mean it because you're down there. These are pretty legit guys that we have.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love. I have a great time.
And
with
the
all
new
of them.
guys that are coming in, we just seem to be we've been hitting it right, and that's why you see these contracts. By the way, we didn't talk about it, but
right.
It's 1 year and they've played, and just watch the kid, get to know the kid. He may not pan out. Maybe he's not going to score 100 points. But do you really think you're going to be disappointed with having that kid around for 8 years? Either, you know what I mean? That's when we start making decisions like that, I think we're going to continue to be okay.
All right, let's hoist the cup.
That's the goal.
Thank you very much for doing this.
All right. Appreciate it.